Hey everyone, I'm back with part 2 of my HeroesCon 2024 haul. This will cover the Marvel books that I picked up, just a small amount. And believe it or not, of all of them, I picked up the least amount of Marvel. And the rest are, I picked up 4 Marvel comics, and then there should be, I think, 6 Gold Key comics. And all the Gold Key pickups were just off the cuff, stuff I came across in $5 boxes, and that really caught my eye. And now I've added them to the want list to complete the 2 runs that you'll see here. But we're going to start with Marvel first, and I'm going to show you. Let's get this out of the way. This was my biggest pickup of the weekend. This was really the main comic on my list to pick up. Monster of Frankenstein, #1. It's a January 73 cover date. Came out October 24th of 1972. As you know, that's Mike Ploog cover and inside art, and Gary Friedrich was the writer. This completes my run of Monster of Frankenstein. This is the only issue I needed. I went there last year looking for this book. I saw one copy that I thought was a little too much, a little too rich for my blood at the time, and not a high enough grade. And so I went a different route. And so when I picked up a couple other things, this dropped off the list because I didn't have as much money last year as I did this year. So when I went back, this was the first book I was looking for. Asked a few different dealers. They had a couple had copies, but they were not in the grade I wanted. And then I went to a booth, and I wish I would have wrote it down who I bought this from. It wasn't on his wall. And then I asked, I think it was his son, and the younger man asked the older man. I said, "Do you have a Monster?" He's looking for Monster Frankenstein #1, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah," and he had it on his table behind some boxes, out of sight. And he picked it up, and I looked at it, and it looked really nice. I showed it to my friend Aaron, who was with me, and and I'll tell you, it had a price tag was $175, and I asked him. I said, "I'll pay cash. Can you do something a little better?" And he offered $150. I said, "Deal." And this is probably a very fine plus, which is my sweet spot for a comic. And so I was very happy. It's my biggest pickup of the weekend, and like I said, couldn't be more pleased. And it was my first comic I bought on Friday. This was another big pickup. This is Defenders #10. It's a November 1973 cover date. It actually came out on August 21st, 1973. That's when it hit the newsstands. And that's Steve Englehart was the writer. And the cover is by John Romita. What makes this comic very sentimental to me is the fact that this is the first comic I ever remember seeing or looking through as a little boy. My older brother, he's 7 years older than me. He and I shared a room in Illinois for up until he was about in high school, and then he moved into the basement. He bought 4 comics in the hopes that it would help him to read, to enjoy reading. He was not a comic collector, but he bought the comics, and this is the one of the 4 that I remember. And the reason I remember it is because the Hulk and Thor were fighting. And as a 5-year-old kid, I'm thinking to myself, superheroes aren't supposed to fight each other. So it left an indelible mark on me. And after all these years, I finally got a copy to put into the collection. So I'm not a huge Defenders fan. I have one other Defenders book that I picked up recently, #12, because I just love the cover of that. It's with Titan. But very happy to add this to the collection. This is something I've wanted for a while. This is Hulk #145, November of 1971. It went on the newsstands on August 10th of 1971. And Len Wein was the writer. Herb Trimpe is the pencils, and John Severin is the inks on the cover and inside. This is when Marvel went from 15 cents to 25 cents for some of their titles. It lasted 2 months. Most lasted 1 month. And then they went down to 20 cents, whereas DC stayed with the 25-cent price and more pages for a longer period of time. The thing I liked about Marvel's is they're square bounds, and you probably can't see it with the glare. And this is a nice issue. And I bought this, I believe, on Sunday, the last day of the show. And I was looking for this book. This is the only Hulk that was on my want list. But I was seeing this for, I paid $15 for this copy, which I believe is a fine slash very fine, 7.0. And I saw this at other booths for 3 times the amount, if not more. And I just didn't want to pay that much. And come Sunday, I noticed prices were coming down in certain booths, at most booths actually, or they were just willing to deal more, I guess. So I bought this. Haven't read it yet, but I'm happy to add it in the collection. It's pretty good. It's a black cover, and actually the staple's not coming through yet. And I think I've told you, I usually put a sheet of paper in, like a piece of typing paper, and then I put like a mailing label that you would, like a white mailing label on the edges of the sheet where the staples lie, just to protect it. I do that on square bounds, the 100-pagers, and it seems to help. Anyway, so I'm glad to have this. And then my last Marvel book was this, Supernatural Thrillers, featuring The Invisible Man, #2. This came out, this cover date is February 1973, came out November 14th of 1972, and that's a Jim Steranko cover. Val Merrick is the penciler, Dan Atkins is the inker inside, and Ron Goulart, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, was the writer. This was not on my want list. I found it for maybe $5 in pretty nice shape. I think that's very fine. And I like the series. Shannon, Solid 4 Stream Bottom End, when I first started watching his channel several years ago, did a series of the week on Supernatural Thrillers. And I thought to myself, oh man, that's a series I think I'm going to start. But I had just got back into collecting. I had some limited funds, and I was focused on the Justice League of America, filling in 100 through 200, and also doing Secret Society supervillains 1 to 15. And that was also from watching one of his series of the weeks on Secret Society. So I didn't want to spread myself too thin at the time. So I held off. Kind of regret it because some of those issues have gone up in price. But of course, now my want list is all over the place. It's expanded a great deal. But anyway, happy to add this to the collection. And I have also #3, which is probably my favorite cover. It's a Gil Kane cover, if I'm correct. All right, here's my Gold Key books. This is, I think, a $5 book, The Hardy Boys. It's a 4-issue series. This is #3. Cover date it's October 1970. It came out on the newsstands July 30th, 1970. I don't know who did the cover. My resource is Mike's Amazing World of Comics. You find just about every comic that's been made. It usually tells you who was on the cover and who did the inks and who was the writer, but it doesn't tell you on his site any of that information, and there's nothing inside, not in the indicia or anywhere, that tells you who wrote the story. But good issue, nice shape. It's like a very fine, and I think I got it for $5. And it's a 4-issue series, so I'm going to get the other 3. These were cool. Again, this was not on my radar. This was just kind of I don't want to say an impulse buy, but I saw them. I love the TV show, so I had to have them. And again, these 5 issues, and there's 5 issues of Voyage to the Bottomless Sea that I picked up, bought them for $5 a piece. Same place that I bought the Hardy Boys, and I think a couple other issues that I had. I bought like 7 books in just like the half an hour. I was going through the box, and I just saw these, and I pulled them out. I'm like, I'm good. These $5 a piece. It can add up quickly, but just 7 books for $35. That was a steal. And these are all pretty nice. They're at least fine to very fine, and one is like, I would say, very fine. This is #4 from May 1966. It went on sale February 17th of 1966. And all 5 of these, I do not know who did these painted covers. The painted covers are beautiful. Don't know who did the art or the writing inside. But that's #4. That's Richard Basehart right there. This is #8 from May 1967. On sale February 2nd, 1967, just about almost 2 months before I was born. And that's, fine, very fine. This is number 10, as it says there in the sticker. November 1967. It went on sale August 10th of 1967. Nice cover. I love these painted covers. Real cool. Now, there's 10 there. Somebody wrote little ink thing 10, but I don't care. For $5? Come on. These are really in nice shape. This is number 11 from February 1968. Went on sale November 16th of 1967. Pretty nice shape. Again, it's a fine, very fine. There's Richard Basehart and David Hedison. The sea view becomes a living creature and tries to devour her crew. Gold key. Yeah, fine / very fine. This was the nicest one. This is number 14, issue number 14, November 1968. Cover date. Well, yeah, it says, doesn't even have a, just says February. Why does it say February? But I did some research and it said November 68. Well, maybe I made a mistake. I made a mistake because this is 11 and this is 14. I'm sorry. Well, this is issue number 14 that has a cover date of November 1968 and went on sale August 1st of 1968. Just mixed up the order. This is number 11, the last book that I picked up with the February 68 cover date. Went on sale November 16th, 1967. This is in very fine conditions. This was the nicest condition book of the 5. Like I said, each of them I got for $5. I think this is a 16-issue series. I'm going to attempt to complete it. Very happy to get this. Yeah, that's the box again that I picked up. I also went by the Tomorrow's booth. They had other magazines for $5, except for anything new. And I had a lot of the stuff that was for $5, so I bought the most recent Retro Fan. I think it's maybe it's maybe not the current Retro Fan, but the one before it that had the Bionic Man, the Bionic Woman on it, Lee Majors and Lizzie Wagner. Had to get that. That was those two shows were childhood favorites. And I also bought one of the most recent issues of Back Issue, and I paid cover price for those two, but I don't mind. But anyway, that's part 2, and that was it. Again, just had a great time meeting everybody, meeting Raj, seeing Dave from Future Past Vintage Collectibles, seeing Mike from The Collective and Luther Manning show, or Luther Manning's channel, which is Patrick, his buddy Mike. Great guys. Really had a good time, and plus it was nice because I went with my best friend Aaron, and we got to share this experience. It was his first time at HeroesCon, and it was great. And I would say again that there's certain booths there that you just definitely want to go to. And I don't want to. I said Dale Roberts was at the top of the list. Bedrock City Comics was great. There were several other booths that were really good. So I plan to go back next year, Lord willing, and who knows? Who knows what we'll find next year? Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care.